The Panthers offense, and I actually liked that a caller during our Monday sound-off on the Easter Automotive Group hotline brought up some of the things that seemed positive about the Panthers offense because they did flash at times. The offense for the Panthers flashed at times. But the issue is it's not nearly enough for the season to change. The season, from a team goals perspective, from a being competitive in the division, I actually thought it was funny. A few times, was it Mark Sanchez was on the call? He brought up, like, if they want to make some noise in the NFC South, I was going like, Mark.
I mean, we can make noise, but not a loud noise.
Yeah, true. Chirp, chirp. The season it's over from a team goals perspective. The beauty of the NFL, the beauty of real sports that aren't like redraft fantasy sports or video game sports, is that it's not a one-year activity. It's not a one-year activity. So you can start thinking about the future at any time. You can start playing that. Jalen Coker made a couple of moves, right? Jalen Coker, undrafted rookie, is out there making catches in NFL games. Xavier Legette, your first-round rookie, making moves, catching a touchdown. There's a lot to get at there, right? However, the issue is you've already made the move, is what I was trying to say, to Andy Dalton. That is a this-year decision. You did that to be better this year. You did that to appease people this year. And you did that after 2 games. So now you're a month later, and for all intents and purposes, your goals of this season are over. Andy Dalton, make no mistake about it, is better than Bryce Young right now. But he isn't good enough to win with a bad roster. He isn't the elite level of quarterback that looks at an offense that is tattered and bruised and beaten and says, hop on my shoulders, I shall drag us to 11 wins. He's not that guy. He may have never been that guy, but he darn sure isn't that guy at 37. I'm going to let you in on a secret here, everybody. Joe Flacco is better than Anthony Richardson right now, too. If you can't tell, watch the games that Anthony Richardson played and watch the games that Joe Flacco played. But the moment Anthony Richardson is healthy, he's going in because the Colts aren't thinking about right now. They're thinking about long term. That's what's happening. Xavier Legette is flashing. Chuba Hubbard is awesome. Jalen Coker might be something. You have to make decisions about the future, except you've already made this one really, really big decision that's going to confuse everybody. Because if you go back to Bryce, I don't even know what that does to the roster, right? Because the most commonly said justification for making the move to Andy Dalton is you were going to lose the locker room if you kept if you kept Bryce Young in there. So now you're going to go back to him and assume you're not going to lose the locker room because you agreed with him, right? Let's say all the vets were implying that Bryce Young had no business being a starting quarterback in the NFL, and you were hurting them by playing him. And then you benched Andy Dalton, essentially saying, yeah, you're right. Now, how are you going to go back to it? And if you do, how do you go back to it and not expect those veterans to check out? We saw it last year a little bit. Guys checked out at the end of the year.
Yep.
And that hurt this year. How do you keep everybody locked in if you've already kind of said with your actions certain things about a player?
The offense since Andy Dalton has taken over has been above average or good for 3 of the 4 games. Yeah, the Raiders game
and
was good.
Bengals game.
I thought yesterday they were slightly above average, and I was Andy Dalton threw the pick, but they had 20 points through 3 quarters, and you had the ball with the chance to tie it in the 4th.
I would push back a little bit, but we're splitting hairs, so we'll
but I mean, it's not
rock.
like the abysmal that we saw the first 2 weeks. It's like
but my question is, what does being average to slightly above average in 3 of the 4 games get you?
At least I can evaluate the players I have. That's the thing it gives me.
But you got to play them then.
I can actually, like, with Dalton in there, I can actually see what Legette can do and what Coker can do and Hubbard can do in a run game. I can actually see that.
So, yes, that's exactly what I'm getting at. You put them in there. The issue is, like, how do you Ian Thomas is still getting catches and targets. And
well, he just played for the first time yesterday.
But he had 3 or 4 targets in his first game back. Like there's to me, they're pulling in 2 different directions. One, this thing of, the Andy Daltons, the vets, we have to do this. And then the other is the young guys who you're evaluating, and it's going to put everybody into a pretzel as far as what you're looking for. Are you playing for now or are you playing for the future? It has to be the future, except you've already pretzeled yourself into being locked into the now. This season, to me, is outside of what you can build on in the future. It is done. So it's all about what you can build on in the future. And we talked about it. Chuba Hubbard, Andy Dalton, Deontay Johnson, the bright spots, their contracts are up this offseason. If you're Chuba Hubbard and they keep giving you the ball the way they've been giving you the ball, and you run for 12, 13, 1,400 yards, this offseason, are you excited to come back to Carolina, or are you taking some other form of currency for a team somewhere else that might be a running back away?
As someone in the press box in the Bank of America said yesterday, he's going to look really good in a Chiefs uniform.
Chiefs uniform. Heck, if anything happens if there's injuries to a contender, I think you trade him.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there. Deontay Johnson. After putting up with everything you're putting up offensively this year, if you put together a good stats line, this is your last chance to cash in. Do you have any delusions that the Panthers would be the top spender? I think Xavier Legette needs to be on the field 100% of the time if possible. I think Jadeveon Sanders needs to be on the field 100% of the time if possible. I think Jalen Coker needs to be in there every time you're in a 3 wide receiver set, unless you think there's a future for Jonathan Mingo, in which case you need to get him out there to know for certain at the end of this year if there is a future with Jonathan Mingo or not.
Coker played a lot more than Mingo did yesterday.
I'm good with that. And honestly, I think you need to have Bryce Young out there at some point. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you frame it. I don't know how you keep everybody bought in, but if you're going to trade him this offseason, you can't have the lasting image be the last time we saw him. So you need to get him out there for some rehab starts. And secondly, again, what does Andy Dalton get for your future? It's tough because the offense is playing better than the defense, but there's more building blocks on the defense than there probably are on the offense that we're certain of. You have J.C. Horn. You have obviously injured Derrick Brown. You have a few guys. I like Trevin Wallace. He's popping right now.
3.
If you are there 3 players on the offense you're guaranteeing will be main contributors 3 years from now for the Panthers?
Guaranteeing next 3 years for the Panthers? I would definitely say Legette. I would probably say Coker, Robert Hunt. I would obviously throw in Jadeveon Sanders, Jonathon Brooks.
Coker is an undrafted rookie.
Hey, and you know what? He'll probably be my third. He'll probably be my number 3 wide receiver.
3 or how many catches does he have on the year? 6, 7?
More than Mingo.
I don't know if that's true, but feels like it. And I'm like, the offense needs to find the 3. Like, just give me I think Xavier Legette's on the way. I hope Jonathon Brooks is going to get there. I guess Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis you like because of the contracts, but 3 years from now they'll be in their 30s, and it's like I'm talking about. Let's look at the Canes, for example. Do they have their version of like Svetch, Aho, Jarvis, Slavin offensively? Because in football, you do kind of divide up the 2. I think they have it on defense if they can get J.C. Horn locked up. I think he's worth maybe not top money, but top 5 quarterback money. I don't know if they have it on offense. And I don't know if playing Andy Dalton helps you find it.
And think playing Bryce does?
Yeah.
How? We saw the first 2 weeks they couldn't move the ball.
What? No, I'm sorry. Yeah was not the right answer there. I think the getting him to somewhere where you can move on is worth it right now. You're going to trade him. You want to get the most back for it. There's something there to increase. If Andy Dalton is like 5th in MVP voting this year, I don't know what it gets you. Like it's a nice story to be like, yay, and then you move on. It's you have to think about things that will carry over from this year to next year. I don't know what Andy Dalton does that carries over from this year to next year.